The ocean is a desert, a vast, three-dimensional wasteland of blue nothingness. To survive here, to thrive here for 20 million years, you cannot simply be a predator. You have to be a ghost. But this ghost is not silent. It is a 2,000-pound torpedo of calcified cartilage and pure, distilled violence. Yet, despite its fame, despite Jaws, despite the Discovery Channel's Shark Week, we have only just begun to understand the true, insane biology of the great white shark. And the truth is far stranger and far more terrifying than the fiction. Forget the mindless killer. What we are about to dissect today is the most efficient hunting machine ever evolved by nature. A living computer of flesh and blood that has solved problems that human engineers still cannot crack. This is the true story of Carcharodon carcharias. Most fish are prisoners of the water around them. If the ocean is cold, their blood is cold. Their muscles lock up, their brains slow to a crawl. But the great white? It cheated the system. Look at the anatomy of the red mussel. In a tuna or a mako, the muscle is deep inside. But the white shark has taken the concept of endothermy to a level that defies classical biology.
It possesses a network of countercurrent heat exchangers. Imagine a series of tiny pipes wrapping around the core of the animal. Warm blood leaving the muscles passes right next to cold, oxygenated blood coming from the gills. The heat jumps across, not out. The white shark doesn't sweat heat into the ocean. It hoards it. This allows the great white to maintain a core body temperature up to 14 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the surrounding water. Why does that matter? Because speed is nothing without reaction time. In the frigid waters off Seal Island, South Africa, where a seal can turn on a dime, the white shark is not cold-blooded. It is warm-blooded. While the seal's brain is slowed by the cold, the shark's brain is running at full operational capacity. It is the difference between a diesel engine starting in the winter and a Formula One car idling on a hot track. We have 5 senses: vision, hearing, taste, touch, smell. The great white also has 5 senses, but 3 of them are alien to us. First, the lateral line. Run your finger down the side of a shark. See that faint line of dots? That is a canal leading to mechanoreceptors. This system feels pressure. It feels the displacement of water. It feels a wounded fish flapping 500 feet away.
Second, hearing. And here is the myth buster. They say sharks can smell a drop of blood from a mile away. True, impressive, boring. But did you know a shark's ears are more sensitive than its nose? The inner ear of a great white is tuned to infrasound, frequencies below 20 hertz. That is the frequency of a struggling, panicking fish. That is the frequency of a seal's heart racing in fear. A white shark can hear your heartbeat from hundreds of meters away. It doesn't smell your fear. It hears it. But the third sense is the superpower, the one that breaks the laws of physics as we understand them. The ampulla of Lorenzini. Look at the shark's snout, those tiny black pores. They are not sweat glands. They are electroreceptors. Every living creature, you, me, a fish, a turtle, every muscle contraction in your body emits a weak electrical field, a microscopic voltage. The great white's ampulla can detect a billionth of a volt. That is the electrical equivalent of seeing a single flashlight beam shining from the surface of the moon. If a seal is hiding under a rock, invisible to the eye, silent to the ear, the shark cannot see it. But it can see its soul. It can see the electrical ghost of the seal's heartbeat radiating through the rock. There is no camouflage against electricity.
The mouth. We have all seen the pictures. The triangular teeth, the black eyes. But look closer. The anatomy of the bite is a masterclass in destructive engineering. The jaw is not fused to the skull like ours. It is loose. It is attached by ligaments and muscle that act like a set of rubber bands and slingshots. When a white shark attacks from below, the mouth opens. The lower jaw drops, but the cranium actually rocks backward. This allows the mouth to open to a 75-degree angle, a gape wide enough to swallow a yoga ball whole. But the horror isn't the size of the bite, it's the delivery system. The teeth are not just teeth, they are serrated blades. 300 teeth arranged in up to 7 rows. The front row does the killing. The back rows are lying flat, waiting like loaded magazines. When a front tooth snaps off, which it will, because this animal bites through bone and turtle shell, it takes just 24 hours for the next tooth to rotate forward. It's a conveyor belt of razor blades. But here is the biological insanity. The upper jaw is mobile. That's right. The palate of the shark swings down and forward during a bite. This isn't a clamp. It's a saw. The shark thrusts its head upward. The lower jaw holds the prey, and the upper jaw, the roof of the mouth, pulls backward, sawing through blubber, flesh, and ribcage. The bite force? 4,000 pounds per square inch. But that number is misleading, because the shark doesn't crush, it shears. It is the difference between a sledgehammer and a guillotine.
We have all seen the video. False Bay, South Africa. A shadow turning into a missile. The seal, young, fast, a master of the shallows, swimming for its life. Then the shark hits. The breach is the most famous hunting strategy in the animal kingdom, but it is biologically insane. Why? Because sharks are aquatic. They should be efficient in water. The breach is inefficient. It burns energy. It exposes the shark to the air, an environment where it cannot breathe, where gravity crushes its unsupported organs. So why do it? Because the shark did the math. Cape fur seals are agile. In the water, they can outturn the shark. But in the air, for that 0.3 seconds of the breach, the seal is helpless. The shark calculates speed, angle, and the trajectory of the seal's panic. It accelerates from 30 meters deep. It builds up to 25 miles per hour. As it ascends, the pressure drops, causing the gas in its stomach to expand. This actually gives it a final silent burst of buoyancy. Then, the breach. Studies of shark kinematics show that the great white rotates its body along its longitudinal axis during the breach. It turns sideways. Why? Because a sideways profile has less drag in the air than a flat belly. The shark is aerodynamic in the air and hydrodynamic in the water. It is a predator that has conquered 2 elements. It is a fish that knows how to fly.
If the jaws are the weapon and the ampulla are the radar, the liver is the fuel tank. And this is where the insane biology title pays off. The great white shark does not have a swim bladder. Bony fish have a gas-filled balloon that keeps them floating. Sharks evolved without it. So how does a 2,000-pound animal made of heavy muscle and dense cartilage stay off the bottom of the ocean floor? It floats on oil. The liver of a mature great white accounts for up to 28% of its total body weight. It is a massive, 2-lobed organ filled with squalene, a low-density oil that is lighter than seawater. Squalene is a biological marvel. It is a hydrocarbon, chemically similar to lamp oil. One large white shark carries over 400 gallons of this oil in its liver. This isn't just for floating, it is a battery. When food is scarce, and for a top predator, food is often scarce, the shark lives off its liver. A single massive meal of a seal, rich in blubber, can sustain a white shark for up to 3 months. But here is the dark part of the biology. The liver is also the shark's greatest vulnerability. Orcas, the only true predator of the great white, have learned this. orcas hunt with surgical precision. They do not bite the shark randomly. They perform a maneuver called liver extraction.
They hold the shark upside down, inducing tonic immobility, a natural paralytic state, and then bite into the pectoral girdle to rip out the liver. They leave the rest of the body to sink. The orca knows the math. The liver is 28% of the weight, but 90% of the energy value. The orca is a gourmand, and the shark is a foie gras. Look into the eye of a great white. What do you see? Most people see a black, soulless marble, a doll's eye. That is a myth created by Hollywood taxidermy. In life, the great white's eye is a deep, electric blue, a startling, beautiful blue. But beauty is irrelevant when you are about to bite a thrashing seal that is clawing at your face. The shark possesses a nictitating membrane. Unlike the opaque eyelid of a human, this is a translucent, sliding flap of skin that rolls up from the bottom of the eye socket. Just before impact, the eye rolls back. The nictitating membrane slides shut. Why? Because a thrashing seal's claws will scratch a cornea to blindness. This membrane acts like a visor. It protects the eye from physical trauma while still allowing the shark to perceive light and shadow. But here is the evolutionary genius. The membrane is not just armor. It is a sensor. It is covered in the same ampullae of Lorenzini as the snout. Even with the eye closed, even in murky water, even in the chaos of the kill, the shark's eye socket can still feel the electrical field of the prey. The shark closes its eyes to bite, but it never stops seeing. We think of the great white as a coastal menace, a resident of the beaches. In reality, the white shark is a deep-sea pelagic wanderer. Satellite tagging has revealed the true story. A shark tagged off the coast of California, named Nicole, swam all the way to Australia, and then swam back. That is a round trip of over 12,000 miles in 9 months. Why? Why leave a buffet of seals to cross the empty desert of the Pacific? We don't know for sure, but the biology suggests two things: reproduction and ampullary navigation. First, reproduction. We have never seen a great white give birth. Never. The holy grail of shark biology. But we know from dissected pregnant females that they practice intrauterine cannibalism. The first embryo to develop teeth eats the other eggs. The pups are born live, 6 feet long, fully armed, and terrified of their own mother, who will eat them on sight. The migration routes likely lead to specific nurseries far from any seal population. The pups must survive on fish and rays, away from the cannibalistic adult population. Second, navigation. How does a fish swim across an ocean without landmarks? The answer is the Earth's magnetic field. Just like a sea turtle, the great white has tiny crystals of magnetite in its cartilage. These crystals align with the magnetic poles. The shark has a biological GPS. It is believed that they navigate to specific magnetic seamounts, underwater mountains that generate electrical anomalies. The ampullae of Lorenzini, which sense electricity, likely lock onto these magnetic signatures like a homing signal. The great white is 20 million years old. It survived the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. It survived ice ages. It survived the evolution of whales, seals, and humans. But it may not survive the 21st century. The biology that makes it perfect also makes it fragile. It grows slowly. A male takes 10 years to reach sexual maturity. A female takes 15 to 20 years. A female gives birth to only 2 to 10 pups every 2 or 3 years. In the shark world, that is a slow birth rate. And they are drowning. Not in water, in silence. Bycatch. Every year, 100 million sharks are killed. The great white, despite its power, is entangled in gill nets and long lines. It suffocates because, unlike bony fish, it cannot pump water over its gills. It must swim to breathe. If a net holds it still for 5 minutes, the shark dies of hypoxia. We are pulling the apex predator out of the ocean faster than it can reproduce. We are removing the great white from the great white. And when you remove the apex, the ecosystem collapses. The seals eat too many fish. The rays eat too many scallops. The balance breaks. So what is the true story? Is it a monster? No. The true story is that the great white shark is a biological paradox. It is a warm-blooded heart inside a cold-blooded world. It is a blind fighter that can see electricity. It is a solitary wanderer that navigates by the stars of the Earth's core. It is not a mindless killer. It is a cautious, intelligent, curious animal. When a great white bites a human, it usually lets go. It didn't mistake you for a seal. It was testing you. Because it has no hands. It only has its mouth. It investigates the world by biting it.
The fear we feel is not because the shark is evil. It is because the shark is alien. It is the closest thing on this planet to an extraterrestrial. It lives in a dark, cold, high-pressure world and sees ghosts. We have 20 million years of evolution swimming in our oceans. The insane biology of the great white is a testament to survival. But survival only works if there is an ocean left to survive in. This is the true story, not a monster, a masterpiece. And it is watching you right now.